I say this all the time, if Big L and Pun and all them, Biggie and everybody were alive, I actually think the bar would be still so high that these artists that are saying all this nonsense, they wouldn't even be able to get in now. Jay, Eminem, same thing. If you ever cross them, they're gonna sneak up out of nowhere and destroy you. I was born in 1966. There was no rap at all, so I got to see hip-hop turn into what it's turned into from day one. So I have a radio show on Sirius XM called Live from Headquarters. I'm playing nothing but bangers that are reminiscent of the 80s when Red Alert, Marley Marl and Mr. Magic, Chuck Chill Out, Awesome 2, Hank Love and DNA. It's the same style of what they were doing just in 2016. And there's so many records that come our way that are available right now on iTunes or whatever. New York radio now is only, if you're not relevant, you're not getting played. We don't even do mix shows dedicated to your era or nothing, but you call yourself the home of hip hop. You're not the home of hip hop if you don't dedicate the pioneers somewhere in that mix. That's what I like about Flex. Flex plays all the stuff that may be a little out there or whatever, but there's times where it's like I'll get calls from the homies and stuff going, yo, turn on Hot 97, Flex is going in right now. And it's like, word. The problem is a lot of our icons in New York want to be so relevant to the young kids that they're doing the styles that they do, but they're not even doing a good version of it. Like I can do a trap record, I can do one just with my eyes closed, but if you're gonna do one, do a banging one. They're doing horrible ones, and it's like, yo, you think that's nice? And who's approving the record? The audience that's buying the most music are usually youngsters, but people fail to realize adults still buy music too. And I don't really want to hear kiddie rap, because that's for the younger kids, but I still make sure that I know it. I want to know who every young artist is because they're in my culture, so I need to see what they're doing. I like Future. I bang Future's music. I like it, but I don't want to do that style. I'm not going to do that style because I don't need to. Yeah. My market wants boom, bap, original rap, with Desiigner. I did a remix of Timmy Turner. I took a video excerpt of him doing the double XL thing, and I did it for fun, just to throw it out there. I don't know if he heard it. I wasn't doing it to get his attention. I have to judge you based on when your album comes out and how hefty your album is, because a couple of hot singles and even word of mouth or the word spreading that you're the next hot thing or you got a lot of likes on YouTube or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's not enough for me. But when it comes to Joey Badass, I mean, he has Nick Caution, who's one of his best top lyricists in his crew. And then he has other people in pro era that are just doing beats, And his mother is from my era. She's able to school him because she grew up on the Rakim records and the Big Daddy Kane records and Stetson Sonic, Wu-Tang, everything. So Dave East, I'm a big fan. He's lyrical. He keeps it hood. He sounds like New York. And he does records that have a trap sound or bounce style or something that sounds like it's from another region of the world. Young M.A., my former manager Gary Bond actually brought her to me. I like her growth, and I've seen her grow prior to where she is now. So that's why I'm so happy that the Ooh record popped off for her, because now it's like the biggest record out right now. And every time I see G, I tell Gary, like, yo man, you were right. I have an independent label called Year Round Records, which is dedicated to just keeping my street music intact. And it was something that I always wanted to do so that I can just put out whatever I want when I want. And a lot of the street music these days is hard to get on radio or hard to get signed. And plus, my market base is from, the young 20-year-olds all the way up to 50-year-olds. Because of that, I have an album project coming out with MC8 from Compton's Most Wanted. It's called Which Way Is West. He approached me and said, hey man, I got all these songs. I don't know what to do with them. I liked them. I said, hey man, just run it through my label, And then I'm also working on a solo album, which is tied into the history documentary of the D&D studio. Jay Z, Nas, everybody that worked there has already done the interviews for the doc. They sold our building that we were in, since the 80s. We did a whole documentary of everybody getting one last visit. The documentary will come along with the album. The album's gonna be called Last Session at 320 because 320 is the address. Funkmaster Flex said on the radio the other night, can you go 5 years? I'm doing 20 plus. I'm almost on my 30th year, still as a professional, still touring, still making records, still excited to go into the lab and make a new record. That's from even studying a lot of Prince, like he always had B-sides on James Brown. just songs, lots of albums, and the Beatles and Rolling Stones, just so many songs. And I was like, man, if I ever get a chance to learn how to make a record, I'm gonna put out mad stuff. Rap audiences are so vast and wide now. Make music for your audience, and that's what I do to this very day. And my audience wants more of it. I give it, I make it for them. And then when it comes to going left field with like a Tory Wolf or even an Eric Nally or or Christina, I can step in their lane too, because I like what they do, but it still will sound like a premier, banger. When it just comes to just straight gutter, raw, I'm gonna always do that because it's a must. It's what turned me on to this.